In this part of Dreambox, you're now going to create your own equivalent ratios. So down here, this will be flashing and you have to choose between division or multiplication. And I clicked on it and I chose division. So if I'm going to divide this fraction by 10, let's see what we have in here. Now, I'm learning this along with you, so I am going to divide each of these by 10. If I divide this number by 10, then that means I'm going to multiply it times 1/10. And that means an extra 0 will pop into my denominator. So I'll make it 1,000 instead of 100. Let me say that again. If I'm multiplying or dividing this by 10, remember, when we divide by a number, we multiply by that reciprocal. And I'm going to show you that on the whiteboard. 1 second. So for this first question, it says I'm going to divide all of these numbers here by 10. So if I do 1/100th, you can use this on your fraction calculator. That would be a nice problem to use your fraction calculator for. If I divide this number by 10, remember you always keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to change this to multiplication, and then I'm going to flip this and make it 1/10. When I multiply powers of 10 together, it's so easy. Because if I have 2 zeros here and I multiply by another 0, I just add these 3 zeros all in the problem at the bottom. My answer should be 1/1000. So let's look at this. If I'm going to divide 1 by 10, I can do it on my calculator, or I could keep, change, flip, and I would get 1/10. And then if I'm going to divide 1,000 by 10, since that has no fractions in it, I would just do this right on my calculator. And when you're dividing, you're taking away pairs of zeros from each, so that should be 100. So let's check and see if our answer is correct. It is correct. So I'm going to do one more of these for you. And now it wants me to choose. See how it flips around? I'm going to choose multiply this time. This time I'm going to multiply by 10. So when I multiply by 10, that means this number is going to get bigger by 1 0. So it'll go from 1,000 to 1/100th. This will go back to 1. And if I multiply this by 100, I add a 0. So let's look at all of those. I'm going to snip that and do those on the whiteboard too. Multiplying numbers by 10. So this one should be pretty easy, right? Because 100 times 10, all I have to do is put 3 zeros after 1. You can also use your calculator. So I'm going to get 1,000. For this one, I'm going to multiply 1 times 10, and I get 10. Then I'm going to multiply 10 times 1. Remember, any whole number can be put under or over a fraction of 1, a denominator of 1, and it can still be the same exact number, but still equals 10. So 1 times 10 is 10, and 10 times 1 is 10. And we know that if we have 10 out of 10 pieces, we have one whole thing. And then I'm going to multiply this by 10. Remember, I can put my 10 over a 1. It means the same thing. 1 times 10 is 10. And then 1,000 times 1 is 1. And I'm just going to cross off. This is a division problem. When you divide, you can cross off pairs of zeros. So this equals 1/100th. And you can also use your calculator for all of these. Let me put my calculator over. 100 times 10, I get 1,000. 1/10 times 10, equals 1. And then 1/1000th, or yeah, 1/1000th times 10. equals 1/100.